Okay, this is the first update a couple weeks after everything was planted. Around the back, my wife's out picking bundles of lavender right now. That's in full bloom. That batch there you can see. And the dill's doing pretty good. Hopefully we'll have that when we get the cucumbers. And there's some garlic there that's ready to be picked. And that'll be coming out next. And down in the fenced-in area, there's a basil. And, carrots are doing really good. The peppers actually have been really enjoying this hot, sunny weather. They're just, they're doing really great this year. You can see those are just a couple potatoes I threw in one of those bins, and they're about 3 feet high right now. And beets are filling in, and the shallots are really filling in there. And eggplants on the other side are doing good. The leaves are being attacked by critter bugs and stuff like that, but they seem to be holding their own, and I see flowers coming on them now, so they didn't do too much damage. And here's some more peppers, and here's some of the edamames. They're the Black Panther ones, and they're doing really good, starting to see some flowers on them. And this is the tricolor bean mixture, and you can see they're going to be putting flowers on in a couple of days there. And then we had like a day of cloudy, rainy weather, and these cucumbers just took off. There's some pickling cucumbers here, and then there's some the Marketmore cucumbers also back here. And you can see the little marigolds are going into flower now. They're starting to get stinky, and they seem to be keeping the cucumber bugs away. And some more Anaheim peppers there, and here's some rainbow chard that's got to be thinned real soon, and more peppers, and these are some of the Soyo long Japanese cucumbers that'll start climbing up pretty soon. And you see the beans are just starting to make their way up the poles there. They're wrapping around. And the okra aren't doing too good for some reason. They don't seem to like this spot, but everything else is doing great. And tomatoes are starting to get some small tomatoes on them now. A lot of flowers and stuff. And, this is the batch that I put over inside the fence to keep away from the other ones in case of blight or anything like that. And they really are looking good. They've been really enjoying these long sunny days that we've had. And you can see they were little puny things when they went in there. Really nice thick stems now. So they really like this weather. So today I'm going to just start thinning some of the raised beds out. And this is the basil. Whenever I plant these raised beds, I always plant really a little bit of extra seed. And we'll just keep thinning it. We might get 8-10 thinnings out of it before we get down to the main plants. And I just keep going out and pulling a basket every now and again for my wife to use. And this batch, actually, she's going to freeze, so I'll show you that in a little while. But that's a good thing about raised beds. You can really plant them dense and, just start thinning and using the smaller produce veggies as they come in. So there's a nice bowl of basil there. And same thing with the carrots. I've got to start thinning them now. They're getting kind of tight together, and some of them are just too little and go back into compost, but you do get a couple of bigger ones that are a real sweet little treat. And my dog actually loves these too, so these I'll save and I'll eat them or give them to my dog. And then here's the beets. The beet greens are fantastic this year, so I'm just going to start doing some thinning, and again I'll get 4 or 5 batches of beet greens out of here before we get down to the the final beets. So there's not really one bug mark on them or anything else, and they're just perfect. And they were really good, I can tell you that. So basically with the raised bed, you do I do a lot of thinning with the young tender stuff in the beginning like that, and then in the end we'll start just breaking leaves off and stuff to use. But so there's today's bounty for the garden. And looking in the other section, you can see that the beans there in the first row have really taken off, and the lima beans are starting to do pretty good next to that. And there's the zucchini and yellow squash, and after that rain they like doubled in size overnight. And flat little marigolds are starting to come along too, and There's a bunch of butternuts in that row, and the next row over is a new type of orange butternut that we're trying. And then the Long Island sheath pumpkins and pie pumpkins are in the back there. And the tomatoes are starting to look pretty good. We had some really dry weather, and I didn't water them too often, so they were really starting to get a little dried out looking. But after a good rainy, bout, they're really starting to come back now. And you can see them slowly but surely trying to keep up with them and get them trimmed up off the ground there and tied up and, try to keep them a little bit neater this year. So that's been kind of hard to keep up with because they're just growing so fast all of a sudden, but they all seem to be doing good. And there's my compost pile potatoes there. They just took off, and you can see there's sunflowers also spread all over too. They were just seeds from last year that dropped and came up. The only thing I don't really know much about is the flowers that I spread along the fence line when I planted. They seem to be more weeds than flowers right now, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that area yet. But I'll probably wind up doing a lot of, just mulch over it eventually. You can see, little tomatoes starting to show, and these are little green striped ones that should be ready to eat in another week or two. And there's some more pole beans, either the Blue Lake, and I know there's supposed to be Big Mac pumpkins there. So, everything really is starting to do good. And I'm really happy with all the sun this year. And there you can see my hops plants. They're starting to head up the ropes here, and they're probably about 12 feet tall. And the elderberries never really recovered from that drought we had 2 years ago. But, they do have some flowers on them now. And my wife's daisies are doing good, and there's more lavender that'll be out soon, and just some little black-eyed Susies that are starting to pop some buds on them, and hens and chicks are just multiplying like crazy this year. So basically, you can see it's been a nice, dry, sunny year, and everything really is doing excellent. And this year we've had a massive these little hummingbirds. There's a little girl out there feeding now. We probably have a dozen to 15 hummingbirds that are all buzzing you and fighting over the feeders at night, stuff like that. So it's real great to see a lot of them back this year. And here's here's how my wife freezes the basil. She just takes it, puts it in a container, and just takes out what she needs during the winter. And here's a little slideshow of everything. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.